The smallest county in not just north central Florida, but the entire state is managing its rising population against its rural identity. TV20's Cameron Lund tells us the step that Union County commissioners made meant to manage certain living quarters.
This all comes down to trailers and RVs setting up here in Union County in places where they shouldn't be.
The Union County Board of Commissioners voted unanimously on the second reading of a moratorium to stop special permitting for these forms of housing. Now, leaders say the issue started months ago when current residents came to the board about new residents staying on property zoned incorrectly.
We're always trying to champion smart growth here in the county, but we have experienced lately more and more people moving in travel trailers. There are people living in sheds, if you will, with just drop cords coming out the windows, plugged in. Just really sanitation, safety concern for these people and for the county.
As far as RV parks already set up, like this one here in Worthington Springs, they will continue to operate as normal. But for these other sites cropping up, code enforcement could mean law enforcement.
There are many counties in the state that do use their sheriff's office to help in that area. Sometimes they contract privately to get a code enforcement officer and a magistrate, and we don't know what that looks like for us.
County officials say the goal is to have new land codes ready once the moratorium expires in 2024. Reporting in Lake Butler, Cameron Lund, TV20 News.